Dan here working on the trim in the upstairs bedroom here again. Today everyone, this time hopefully with a fully charged GoPro and a fully charged battery that comes with the handle thing here as well. I don't know why, but I just had all kinds of troubles here getting this all to charge here last episode, and then even after last episode. I don't know why. Nothing here wanted to charge for some reason. I took the charger, like plugged it into my iPad, like nope, my iPad's charging just fine from it, so the charger's working, plug it in here, nothing. It's like it won't charge. Go try plug it in my phone, no, phone charges just fine. So I was like, what in the world's going on with this thing here? So I don't know. It finally charged, Evan. I don't know why. Don't know how come or what its problem was, but like I said, it finally charged here, so I think we're good. Anyway, for those who didn't see last episode, we got the window trim in, and also since last... Okay, well, now that the camera is charged, apparently I was just rudely interrupted by the SD card. I'm telling you folks, these GoPros sometimes. Anyway, I don't know why, but I just got an SD card error here on here, so hopefully that doesn't continue to be a thing. I just got like a new SD card for this thing here, like, was that a couple weeks ago? I was having all kinds of SD card problems with the other ones. Like, well, we'll get a new SD card, see if that solves the problem. It seemed like it did, but now this one, anyway. As I was saying before, I really got interrupted by this GoPro thing here. We got the window trim all finished here last episode, of course. And then we also puttied up all the holes and then got a second coat of paint on this as well. So, you folks, I think that's looking pretty good, right? Yes, I really like the looks of that so far. But, we gotta finish up the middle piece here yet, so... we could just leave it like that, you know, maybe decorative. We got a middle piece that needs to go on that. But first things first, Evan, I'm going to start by measuring here for the door frames. We're going to get the pieces for that cut, and then also the door behind us here as well. We'll get that all measured up here so we can get outside, start painting those. I'm sure they won't be able to go in tonight, Evan, but we just need to get them measured so we can cut them and paint them. And then probably try to paint this piece at the same time, too. We'll get that length measured. Again, I didn't want to measure this one until I had this in and knew exactly what it needed to be. Again, one of those things, I could tell you folks what it's supposed to be, but what it's supposed to be and what it actually is might be different. So wait till it's done. We'll get the exact measurement and we'll get that piece in there. And for the first door, I got the top piece actually cut here already. Just wanted to see once how that would, let's see, shut this, no, I guess I can't shut the door. Okay, well, there's a cord coming out here. Let's see once here. Yeah, right about there, and I think that looks pretty good. Now I just need to get a measurement from here down, or actually what I could probably do, and the same way I did this piece, Owen, I'm just going by the old paint lines here, so I measured from the old paint line to the old paint line over here, and then I just added, let's see, 3 1/4 plus 3 1/4, so 6.5 inches, right? So yeah, I just added 6.5 inches to that. For those of you who do your math on your triangles there. So I know the dimension here of one, but cutting this dimension is a little bit difficult, right? It's easier, at least in my mind, and for me anyway, to cut from the larger dimension. So you just gotta do the math to figure out the larger dimension, right? So again, just an additional 3 1/4 inches on both sides there. And you got the larger dimension. I believe this was what, 31 1/4. The original was what, 20? It was 20 something, and yeah, something. So anyway, yeah, got that cut of it. We just need to measure the long pieces now. We'll do the same thing, measure from the paint line down to the floor here, and we'll cut those. And this is why we check both sides. This side apparently is like 3/8 of an inch lower. Kind of weird. We are measuring to the floor. Definitely a solid 3/8 lower than this one. Okay, we got those 3 pieces cut now. We'll go up and measure the next door here. We'll get those pieces cut as well, and then we'll set up to probably start painting these. Okay, 30 3/4 for that one, Evan. So we got to add 6.5 inches to that. Again, like I said, I find it easier to measure from the long dimensions, so. So 37 1/4 for that. And I'll double check that. Okay, and we just need our heights. For those who wonder, by the way, I did check the frame on that door just to make sure our measurements look good. It looked really good from what I've seen, so. Okay, 79. Yeah, we're gonna have to go 1/8 of an inch shorter on that side. because this frame is not perfectly level. The other frame is perfectly level, and this one might not be here. Again, for those who watch the video on that, you'll know why. Okay, we got both doors cut. Now we're going to cut the middle piece here for the window. I just finished measuring that. We need 52 7/8 on that one here. So, yeah, we're going to have to set the saw back straight here again, make those cuts. And again, when we do this, we're going to make one straight cut at the bottom. Don't trust how straight that edge is, which I did on these, by the way. You might notice that I didn't bother doing a straight cut. It's down on the floor below the carpet, so, you know, if it's not perfectly straight, which I'll bet you there probably are not of them. If I had to guess, usually these aren't perfect. Actually, this one looks like it's been cut by me. Maybe not, but let's just check one of these other ones just for the fun of it, because I'm kind of curious. Let's see, yeah, this one's been painted. Yeah, looks like it's actually pretty close. I don't think you're going to get much better than that by cutting it. But again, always best to cut it just to make sure. And just like that, it's the next day here. Our trim is all dry. Now, it only has one coat on it so far. We'll end up putting the second coat on once we get it mounted to the wall. We'll mud over all the little holes and stuff. And then we'll paint it one more time here yet as well. So it'll have two coats, everyone, but just one for now. Anyway, before we start to mount this, I was looking at this door. I should really take the time and just run a sander around this frame and just smooth out the previous person's attempt at a paint job. I mean, yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing. Yeah, that's kind of the whole story of this house. When it comes to doing anything in it, I've kind of learned, I've gotten to the point where just rip it out, destroy it, redo it, kind of like this room too. Rather than trying to fix the plaster, just tear it out, put drywall back in, it'll probably be twice as quick. It might cost a little bit more money, I suppose, maybe, that's probably a big maybe, but, I mean, to be honest, it might be... Even with the door, I'd probably just throw the whole doorway and buy a whole new door. I'd be tempted. If it wasn't, I think it'd probably cost $200 for something like that. So yeah, I think we can save ourselves $200, and we'll just we'll fix this one up. So anyway, let me take the door off. We'll take the hinges off. Like I said, I'll run the sander around it, and then we'll get ready to put the trim on. Okay, well, one door frame, maybe a few extra holes on that side there. Apparently my nailer ran out of nails, and I don't know why, but for whatever reason, on this particular nailer here, when it runs out of nails, it just keeps firing even though it doesn't have any. It's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to, once, I don't know if when it runs out completely or how that works, but when it gets low, it's supposed to stop firing, right? It's not supposed to just keep on going, so, and to be honest, you can't tell the difference. Is there a nail in there? Is there not? It's hard to tell with these small little nails, right, Evan? But yeah, kind of annoying with that nailer. I don't know why it does that. All my other nailers, Evan, when they get to the end, they stop firing, right? Or even, I think the finish one, or framing? I think the framing, when they get down to 2 or 3 left, they will stop. Anyway, got it all up there, Evan. Got a little opening up at the top there, but that's not too bad, Evan. We'll putty that up a little bit, and like I said, we'll put a second coat of paint on there. Cover up all these holes here as well. I'll probably even put a little paint on here as well, just try to fix that up here a little bit. Probably have to brush that on. At least try to make it look a little bit better. I was looking at maybe trying to fix this too. It's oh man, I don't know how. If anyone's got any good ideas how to easily get the paint off, let me know. We might try to do that yet, but that might just leave it to everyone. Kind of annoying. Whoever did the painting before, just, yeah, all kinds of sins committed, shall we say. And clearly, so we got, going back to this paint striping, so we got white paint on top of, actually a very similar color to what we're putting back on here. Kind of a tannish, I don't know if you can see that right there. Bit of a tannish color right there, everyone. The white paint does not stick to that tan colored paint. I don't know if we're doing like a latex on top of oil or what we're doing here, but something clearly is not right. In fact, you can probably see it. See a little better here, maybe. Here, I don't know, is there a better spot? I'm trying to look, see if there's a better spot. No, I guess not. I kind of sanded it down pretty good. So, yeah, anyway, like I said, the white paint does not stick to that tan paint, and that's kind of the story of the trim in this house. Whoever painted the trim, you know, they put the tan paint on. There's nothing wrong with the tan paint. The tan paint sticks like it's supposed to, but the white does not stick to that tan. And just, yeah, you can see it kind of there flaking off, and yeah, just downright annoying. So anyway, let's get the second door done here. And then once we got that done, we can start measuring and working on the wall here as well. Oh, and make sure we put the middle piece in there as well. I'm debating how I want to do this middle piece yet. If I want to, I probably really should have like a board or something in there to nail to. Or I wasn't even thinking maybe, you know, do the screws like I did for the rest of it, right? Just put some screws in, it'll sit against that, nail it. That should work, right? And I might put a little more spray foam in there yet too, just to kind of fill it all the way in. We'll see once here. Okay, I'm gonna have the second door done. Had the same problem up in the corners on that one as well. It opened up just a little bit here. Nothing we can't fix with a little putty. Now we have one door left to go yet, and I also put the piece down the middle of the window. That sure looks a whole lot better, doesn't it, Evan? Put that piece down the middle. That really finishes that up. And I also puttied it up here already, so that way we can paint that one here sooner rather than later. So, like I said, Evan, that leaves this door here. Yeah, pocket door. I've never framed out a pocket door before, Evan, so this might be, obviously, the outer trim, Evan, that's going to be easy. Like, outer trim on this is going to be the same as like any other trim, right? The rest of it, and not, yeah, I don't really call it trim, I guess, but the rest of the frame around here and here, that I'm not 100% sure about. So, and some genius threw the directions away, so, yeah, hard to get good help nowadays, isn't it, everyone? Also, wall trim as well, now that we got at least these two doors done, I can at least measure some of this wall trim. The only one I probably can't do is going to be this wall here yet. I need to have that frame in place so I know the measurement from there to here, and same thing for that side as well. So, figured I'm going to start on that next, and that way I can start painting that, and while that's drying, that I can maybe start working on this door here as well and figure out how that's all going to go together. Okay, I figured we'd start with a fun one here first, Evan. Yeah, this long one here. I think this is the only one I have that is this long. All the rest of my trim is like 8 foot long. For this wall, Evan, I bought a 12-foot piece. That way it's all one, and I don't have any seams down the middle here. So we need to try to get a good measurement on this. We are looking at 132 and a half. 132 and a half. And one plus I got to add the 3.5 inches for this. So 132 and a half plus 3.5. And in cases like this, I like to use the calculator just that way I don't screw it up, right? So 32 and a half plus I believe it's 3.5, or is it 3.25? Three and a half, okay. Even. That's not right. 132. There we go. 136. 136 even, that one. Ah, some beautiful weather out here today. Anyway, we're in the garage cutting this up, Evan. I got my cutlass. Oh, there it is. My cutlass right here. So we need a 136, a 27 and 3/16, a 90 and 15/16, and a 92 and 3/4. So, and this is our baseboard right here. Got those pieces there, and then there's our long a 12-footer right there as well. That needs to be our 100 or 136. So we'll get this all cut here in a minute, and I'm hoping I can set the sawhorses up in here somehow. Might have to move my table saw and stuff so we can paint these in here, get these painted. Not the most ideal paint weather, but I want to get them painted up. But otherwise, yeah, they're really sitting. I can't put them on here. So let's get these cut here in a minute. Okay, painted door trim is up here. Before I go and install this oven, I'm going to go work on this pocket door here a minute. We need to get the door frame for this finished, and then hopefully I can get the trim measured here as well, get that painted, and then we can figure out the last two, I think it's just the last 2 pieces of baseboard trim here yet as well. Actually, is there one? Oh, there's gonna be a little short piece back there yet too. Okay, so technically 3 pieces of trim there, I guess. Anyway, with this pocket door, and again, I've never done a pocket door before here, so I was kind of looking into it here, seeing what I all needed here. First off, the directions for installing this oven are like dreadfully useless. Like, oh my goodness, they are very, very useless, I would say. In fact, the directions for them are pretty much like on the outside of the box, and I had a hard time trying to figure out exactly what they were all doing. However, on the website, and this pocket door came from Menards, by the way. On the website, Menards actually has a halfway decent video showing how to install this. You kind of have to use like the box and the website. And one of those steps here, I've been trying to figure out, like, open this up here a minute. What the heck am I supposed to do with this piece up here? I don't remember seeing anything in the directions about it. This piece here needs to be attached to this board here, and then my trim can go up to here. So that makes a lot more sense, because otherwise, like I said, I've been trying to figure out, like, what am I supposed to do with that piece, right? So anyway, we'll get that piece slid over. I've got 2 screws up in there at the moment. It's holding up above here, so we'll take those out, push this over. That makes a lot more sense too, for like how is that supposed to be held up there, right? So then we get our trim in here. Once that's in there, I need to go cut the 2 pieces for this and 2 pieces for the top as well. One of the things they do say in the directions here is one of the pieces here needs to be screwed on. So if you ever have to adjust the door, you want those pieces to be screwed on. And I figure I'll probably screw on the bathroom side of one rather than the bedroom side. That way, you know, if the door's closed, you're not going to see the trim is screwed on there. And obviously, we probably won't be able to putty over those either, I don't think. Because again, if you ever have to get to the door hard oven, you got to be able to remove, my understanding anyway, you need to be able to remove that top piece of trim on the outside. Or it could be this side either too, I guess, right? So anyway, let me get this done here a minute, and then we'll start working on trim. Or framing. I guess technically the door frame, right? Not really trim. Got that piece moved and screwed back on. Also got my 2 screws back in the top there as well. I gotta be a little careful with those screws, because those will definitely suck this piece up if I'm not careful. Apparently, I don't know, not enough shims up there or what. But anyway, ready to put the trim on here now. Looks like I'm gonna have to cut that just a little bit shorter here. Probably, I don't know, like 3/16 of an inch or something like that. And then we're ready to fasten this here. Now for fastening, normally I like to screw my frames on. That way I can play with the depths, you know, the shims, get everything, you know, lined straight and square as possible, right? However, in this case, Evan, there's nothing covering this here. Like what you see, this is going to be like the finished trim piece, essentially. Normally on a regular door frame, Evan, you have the piece down the middle, so you can put your screws down the middle, put that piece down the middle covering it, you'll never see the screws, right? So in this case, Evan, I'm probably going to use my finish nailer. We're going to have to get the shims right on the first attempt, or at least try to anyway. And it's going to be what it is going to be, I guess. Then we're ready to measure here. So yeah, once I get this piece on of it, then I can measure the top one, and we'll get the, or actually, you know what, I can do the side one. Yeah, probably the side one first, probably. And then I can measure the top one. That's how we'll do it. Well, I think that'll work. Works for me. Yeah, that looks pretty good, Evan. Okay, we'll go cut the piece for this side now. And for this, Evan, per the directions, we need to cut it 3/16 from the door, which that's probably not quite that big of a gap. This looks a little more like 1/4 inch to me, maybe a little bigger. So yeah, we'll have to go measure this here in a minute. We're measuring from this. This should be flush with our drywall from the looks of it, if I did it correctly. So we'll get that measured. Once we get that measured, then we can measure this top piece here as well. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this. Got my guides installed down here as well. Directions don't say specifically what I'm supposed to do with these. I'm guessing I'm going to have to notch my trim, or again, I guess technically this is a frame, right? Around that. That looks like a lot of fun to notch out for those. Yeah. Just finished checking and notching out these pieces here. Again, the notch I want is to fit around that annoying little guide right there. That's kind of annoying to have to trim around that, right, Evan? So yeah, that looks pretty good, Evan. Again, they say 3/16 of a gap. That looks pretty close to that. Set this back down here a minute before I break anything. Again, just use my oscillating tool, Evan, to cut those in there. That seemed like it worked pretty good. Had to go a little bit lower on this one. Didn't have that quite marked right, but oh, I'll close enough. I don't think you'll ever see it, I guess, right? Well, I guess technically you could, right? If we open this door here, I mean, yeah, if you look in through there, might be able to see that. I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, not much you can do about it, right, everyone? Just finished measuring for the top here as well, so we need a 29.5-inch piece. Actually, 2 technically, right? We need one for this side and for that side, so the table saw is still set up. We'll go cut those 2 pieces in a minute. And then I think we are ready to paint those pieces here as well. What I might do before I paint them, though, Evan, is I might stick them up in here, and hopefully they'll stay there. That way I can measure for this trim here as well. Get that all cut and painted here at the same time. It'd be kind of nice. Top piece is cut. Definitely a little tight fitting in there. That's good. I'll hold it up there while we measure this here. Now I can measure this piece and the top piece here for the outside trim here as well. We get that all cut, and then we can paint this all up at once. That's going to be the next thing we do. And while that's drying, like I said, then we can go around and finish up our baseboard down there. So let me get the measurements on this here a minute. We'll head outside. We'll get these 3 pieces cut. And again, we're not going to be cutting anything for this side yet, but we'll get these 3 pieces cut and measured, and then we'll get these. Let's see, what do we got? Be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces? 8 pieces? I think that's right, somewhere in there. Anyway, whatever. Quite a few pieces, actually, just for, you know, you pocket door when you're cutting stuff in half here, right? So, okay, we'll get those cut here in a minute and start painting. Well, I got the rest of the pieces outside all cut and painted here. We're waiting for those to dry, and while those dry, we're going to see what's how many of these pieces we can get installed here yet. Tonight we got a couple of door frame pieces and some more baseboard pieces up here as well. And we got no baseboard installed yet, by the way. So once we get some baseboard installed, that'll be the first of our baseboard. I figure I'm going to start with the window here, or not the window, the door here first, that one. So we're going to need, yeah, those pieces there, those. I thought there was one more. Maybe that is it. Okay. And then, of course, we got the trim for the door, that piece there, and then both of those as well. We're going to get those installed for starters, I figured. Well, I gotta say, that definitely makes that doorway look a whole lot nicer, doesn't it? Wow. I still need to finish nailing down the side of it here yet. I figured I'll get the baseboard in that one, and then I can move that just a little bit if I have to. Got these pieces painted already, so if I don't have to cut them, you know, and if I just gotta move this, you know, like a 1/16 of an inch down there, that should be fine. Any more, and I'll probably have to cut the pieces, but I did dry fit them, so they should be good. But again, I didn't have these pieces on to measure with that one, so I just kind of, you know, like estimated, right? Anyway, speaking of those pieces down there, we're going to start, I figured, on the baseboard here. And I got to figure out how I'm going to do this here yet, because typically your carpet goes underneath your baseboard, Evan. So I'm probably going to take this baseboard up, I don't know, 1/2 inch. I'll have to go look, see once here if there's like a set dimension for that. Because again, like I said, you typically tuck your carpet under your baseboard here. Of course, with the carpet at the moment, Evan, the carpet is not going to go under it because, well, the carpet's short. A couple reasons for that. One, we had plaster, so the plaster was thicker than the drywall, so our wall is now, like, you know, further back than it used to be. And then also we had like a significant amount of baseboard on here. Like we had, I think, like it was like 1x material, and then there was quarter round on it yet as well, which quarter, I don't know, I've never seen quarter round on carpet before. Typically they do quarter round on hard floor, but not carpet. So anyway, let me go figure that out in a minute, and we'll start on the baseboard. Well, and some inconclusive internet research later of one. Yeah, the consensus is anywhere from a 1/4 inch to 1 inch off the floor for baseboard. Yeah, that's quite a variation, that one. So I figure we're just going to stick with my roughly 1/2 inch. I figure that should be pretty good, or maybe even 3/4. We'll see once there. 3/4 to 1/2 sounds pretty good to me. That one. Again, like I said, you want to tuck your carpet typically underneath your baseboard there. So anyway, got my laser set up on one. I just want to see once how consistent this room is here. If we're looking the same all the way across. Oh, you know, let's move that one out of the way so I can see. Yeah, there we go. Got a line all the way around here. This is the DeWalt 360 laser here, by the way. Just a little interesting tidbit here. I had one here that was out of calibration, so I called DeWalt. It was still under warranty yet. See once what they would do for it. Evan. Apparently, DeWalt does not calibrate these units, so if they're out of calibration, they simply replace them if it's still under warranty. So mine is currently out on warranty, so I happen to buy a new one here. When I get that new one, I'll probably just end up selling the other one, but don't need two of these. But yeah, got the line set there. This is a green laser here, by the way. And yeah, because it was out of calibration, that's why you haven't seen me actually use that yet. I've been using this other one. I think that's a Bosch something. Not, again, I'm probably going to sell that one when I'm not super happy with that compared to the DeWalt here. So, okay, let's do some quick measuring, and then we'll start laying some baseboard. This, I think this is as low as this laser will go, by the way, which is kind of disappointing. I actually, yeah, probably could actually go a little bit lower with that one. We'll see once. I might actually do that, maybe. Because I can actually set this one right on the floor. So, man, I don't know. Maybe I should keep that one yet, too. Okay, red line equals the height of our baseboard here, and I went real sophisticated. I went 2 pencils off the floor, kind of between 1/2 and 3/4. I figure that should be about perfect. And then I've got this precisely set up on a box of DeWalt finish nails there. Equals to be just about the right height. It's actually just under the top of the baseboard, so as long as I'm not above it, we should be good. It's shining just right at the top level there. You kind of tell too, I'm like, green laser, look at that, nice and consistent all the way around. Yeah, this Bosch one here kind of peters out at the end. Like, really, come on now. So, and you know, I guess we do have a fair amount of light in the room, but I think even the camera here probably doesn't pick up that red laser very well. Anyway, we're going to start by nailing this long piece on here. First, I got my stud detector. I'll make sure we mark where the studs are, so we're putting these nails into the stud. Don't want this baseboard coming out at all now. Three pieces left, just a short one there and 2 longer ones, and we'll have this room all trimmed out, I think. I'm looking around like maybe I forgot something somewhere, but no, I think this room will be all trimmed out here, just those 3 pieces. And then I got to go around and putty up a few holes here yet, but that shouldn't take too long. There's not a whole lot of holes here in the baseboard. I'm just putting one nail every single stud there. So I guess technically along this wall, I could put it down lower too, because there is a board along the bottom. On this wall, and this wall one, there's no bottom board. Yeah, they just, you know, again, we're, yeah, can't think of the name of it now. Framed all the way top and bottom, right? Like, there's no base plates. So, anyway, let me get these last 3 pieces on them, and then we will be done. Hopefully, folks can see the red laser line here. It's not showing up on the screen for me, but I would think the camera would be picking this up, everyone. Yeah, I probably should have watched that a little closer when I did that one. I just nailed it on, followed the laser line, like I've done all the way around the rest of the room here. Got to here, and I was like, oh my goodness, this thing's like way too far off the floor. Again, I was aiming for 2 pencil thicknesses. That one, again, that gives me about 5/8, a healthy 5/8 or so with both of those. Got on that, I'm like, what in the world? So yeah, apparently this wall here one is just like all kinds of not level here, and apparently the big sin is like somewhere right in here. I'm not entirely sure what of them, but my goodness here. And I don't think it's, by the way, again, I'm not a big fan of this particular laser of them, but I don't think the laser's that far off. You know, I got the green laser here for verification as well, just to, again, try to make sure everything I've got here is, you know, straight with this baseboard. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens. That piece of trim there might be a problem in the future of it. But again, you can tell the carpet doesn't come up to it already, so I'm not going to worry too much about it for now. We do plan on probably hopefully replacing this carpet at some point, and when we do that, a new tack strip will nail that. It'll go down right in front of that trim, and then of course again when you'll tuck your carpet under it typically. So anyway, with that one, that was the last of the trim there. I won't bother boring you folks with the details here. I'm going to go around and putty up the rest of the remaining holes here. There's not a whole lot of holes. Again, just one in every stud. Well, with the exception over there, I don't know if I caught that on camera or not. One had a nail jam in the corner. That one, I pulled the nail out. I ended up pulling the baseboard out as well a little bit. So, yeah, just kind of re-nailed those last 2 there to make sure that was all good. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I think that's going to wrap it up here for this video. If you folks have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them down below. And yeah, don't forget to stay tuned till next time, everyone. Next video will hopefully finish up the electrical in this room, and then I'll show you folks the finished work on the trim there as well. Again, we're going to putty all the holes, and we'll put a little dab of paint here on some of this as well, get the second coat done, and that should really make this trim pop. Gotta say, trim really makes the room look finished, right? Yeah, that just looks so much better. Also, oh, you know, I was gonna mention one thing too before I wrap this up, everyone. With all the trim I was cutting here, it wasn't until I got to this door frame that I realized my saw was really crooked as far as vertical. Yeah, I mean the vertical cut, right? It's the cut this way, right? I was really crooked there. I had to do a bunch of adjusting to get that straightened out. And if you notice, yeah, the corners up here, other than maybe trying to get them a little tighter together, they're like perfect. They are perfect up there. So that made a massive difference because, yeah, I got a little bit of gapping up there. It was kind of annoying because, like, man, my corner, or my angles were like perfect. So it's like, what in the world's going on here? Yeah, that's what was going on, everyone. And you can tell, yeah, got all the baseboards too, like were cut once I fixed the saw. And, you know, it's like all my baseboards, except for that one over there. That one's just plain short. I should have had probably 16th inch longer, so that's what they make putty for, right? So yeah, oh well. But yeah, all the corners turned out perfect, everyone, angle wise, straightness wise. So note to self, make sure I watch the angle on that saw, or maybe it's just time to replace that saw too, because that's a Harbor Freight special, everyone. I've always really liked it. It does really great, except for trim work, everyone. You got to have that precision with trim work, and that saw is, yeah, it's not what would I call it, precise for trim work. So anyway, again, thanks for watching, everyone. If you folks have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them down below, and till next time, everyone.